I threw out there that maybe LLMs are the progress of them is plateauing. I'm curious what you guys have read, heard, what your own intuition is. Do you think that that is true?
I can start. I do not. And I'll tell you why. Some of the benchmarks, whatever, maybe are showing that. Like, my philosophy on this stuff is very simple. Trust the curves. And when you zoom out, I think of it kind of, it's the bell curve situation where you have, the really dumb and the really smart people are like, whenever you find a fractal pattern in nature, just go with it. Bet along that curve. And then you always have the people in the middle. It's like, well, no, you can't do that because we have the benchmarks and blah, blah. It's like, no, just trust the curves. And the one guy that I think has gotten this stuff right, more or less, that I've read, that just said it directly, is the Leopold Asperger, whatever his last name is, guy. Something like that. Which I guess that was a Freudian slip.
That was a little Freudian slip. Yeah. Max Autist.
I do like to track the autists, and yeah. Anyways, exactly. So his report is excellent.
An apple.
His report is absolutely excellent. About a year ago, oh, it's so good. About a year ago, he put out what was the name of that report? Situational awareness, and it was spot on. I've read that many times. I think he's basically just right. By the way, Nick Carter is always just like posting whatever Leopold's new hedge fund buys or trades, and he's just shadow trading it, which I think is a great strategy. Like, this guy clearly knows what's up. One of the few people I've been like genuinely impressed by, and just from reading his work. And basically his whole point is just like, yeah, just trust the curves. Like, we keep adding more compute. It's not slowing down. Like, it obviously requires a lot more compute and a lot more data. And those are challenges that we haven't solved, right? Like, you have to get more chips, more power, which is the biggest limiting factor right now. That's what my whole giant manifesto that's going to come out next week is all about, is like, he who controls the power controls the AI. Spoiler alert, it's not us, it's China. And we need to change that. We need to change that yesterday. So anyway, so there's chips, there's the power, there's the data itself. These are all limiting constraints, but like, those are all solvable problems, right? It may take time to solve it. It may take a tremendous amount of capital, both intellectual and otherwise, but they're all solvable problems. And so then I look and I say, okay, who are the smartest people in the world, and what are they betting on? Well, I think my other like major investment strategy for the last 15 years is basically just do what Elon does. Turns out that works out really, really well. What is Elon doing right now? He, first of all, is a solar maxi. That's another solar and storage maxi, another a little alpha drop for next week. So Elon's betting big on build a lot of solar, build a lot of storage, go as big as humanly possible. I also follow closely all of the team at XAI. I'm like, that there's real signal there. And those guys are suggesting we're going to build the biggest, super cluster possible. So at first they said, I forgot exactly the number. It was 1 million GPUs in Colossus 2, which, by the way, it's also very interesting. You can see, so I'm from Memphis. I always say we do it for the M. And if you track, it's no coincidence that super intelligence is being birthed in Memphis. There's some interesting rabbit holes around that. But
as it was some 35 years ago.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I was going to say in Egypt, but that's another rabbit hole. So you can see, you can just like track like what they're buying, the land. It was clear they're going to build solar on it because they bought 500 acres next to Colossus. Now they're doing Colossus 2 down there. Anyways, he basically said, I forgot the exact number, that, so 1 million GPUs, and then they want to do, I forget if it was 50,000 or what the number was, but some like huge quantity of whatever the latest NVIDIA chip is it H100?
200 maybe?
200? Whatever the state of the art NVIDIA chip is, he's like, basically we're going to do some obscene number of that, which, someone was asking Grok, what percentage of world electricity is that? And it came out like 7 or 8%. Of course, just like when people, bitch about Bitcoin electricity usage, exactly. That's like a terrible, the point is it's a lot of electricity usage if it's running full speed at today's efficiencies. Of course, the efficiencies are going to get way better. And like, it ignores all these other challenges. But like the point is he's going to go really, really big. And then he said after that, eventually billions. So Elon's not slowing down. You see all the other, labs, again, without without revealing too much from the paper last week, Google has already contracted. This is a little bit, not 100% confirmed, but seems pretty clear. Multiple gigawatt plus, including 3 gigawatt plus cluster that they're building right now. So the smart money is going big.
Slight alternative take on that.
Yeah.
I have a well-placed source at one of these companies who
rhymes with frugal.
No,
rhymes with Elon.
I have many connections, David.
Keon.
And there's a belief within, or actually that person thinks even within the overall space that it is plateauing. So why would there be all these big, massive investments? That can be answered as well. Because right now, ChatGPT has an enormous lead in terms of brand recognition and user base. So for others, they're still trying to play catch up. And even if it's an enormous investment for what might be a short period of time where there's still an edge, it's worth that investment because the prize is so big.
Yeah.
So the two might both be true simultaneously.
Yeah, could be.
But I don't really have any other unique insights than that.
I also think we're going to get more products built. I mean, you know the bitter lesson, the writing. Basically,
you should recap it.
Yeah. I'll recap in a few short statements. Basically, like, don't worry about building products because the models are going to get better, and the models will out execute whatever great ideas you have for products. So it kind of takes the view of like, don't bother with products, only focus on models. I'm kind of summarizing, simplifying, etc. But outside of that, like if we do plateau, which I'm not claiming we are, my intuition is that doesn't feel like anything's slowing down to me, but I'm not actually looking at the base reality of model training today. But if we are plateauing, I think we might consider undoing the bitter lesson and think about all the products that can be built that will end up generating, like, a major constraint is data. And so new products that get built can generate new data that can feed into models to make better models to do the things that the products are trying to do. So maybe that we're about to see a bit of like a product area opening that will give rise to even new abilities to generate data that becomes useful to additional future scaling. And when you start to talk about slowing down, I would ask, have you seen or played with Nano Banana yet?
No,
I saw it mentioned yesterday, but
yeah,
tell us.
But it's the big new. So Google Gemini DeepMind just launched Nano Banana. I'm not going to run down the whole thing, but it's basically like an amazing new image model where you have a lot more controllability in characters and a lot more consistency across characters, and you can do all kinds of things with generating new scenes from different points of view and different types of animation and video stuff. So
do you have to use Nano Coin to pay for it?
I don't think
you just use the Google.
I thought it was
the Google blockchain.
I thought it was
coming too soon.
I thought it was a cryptocurrency scam.
No, Google has so far stayed out of the cryptocurrency scam business, and I expect them to.
Well, no, I thought
that's coming up soon.
I thought it was a nano scam. Anyway.
No. Anyway, Nano. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll let you go. Space Migration just commented and said,
"Great name.
Greetings from Seattle. Love the ideas you guys talk about. Solid as always. Thanks. We appreciate you listening."
All right. Yes,
and
thank you for listening.
For others listening, please feel free to comment, questions, ideas, thoughts. We're happy to share them.
Yeah, if you think we're wrong, tell us. If you think we're right, tell us. Like, yeah, want to hear.
If you think Max is wrong and Steve is right, tell us.
we love to hear that.
Do you want to hear DK talk more about playing with the banana? Yeah.
All right, back to your banana.
Yeah, back to your banana, DK.
Anyway, it's amazing. It's only the latest thing that dropped this week. You know, the VO3 stuff has been amazing. There's just week after week, there's always something new and amazing coming out. And so you could say GPT-5 wasn't amazing, and that's kind of why everybody's a little depressed about the model thing. I don't know, maybe, but like, I don't feel like the world is about to just hit a roadblock and slow down. I think it might pivot or bob and weave a little bit, but I think there's still so much new stuff and so much to do.